But yeah, but I think like one of my biggest issues about this movie, aside from the fact that it doesn't really focus on Lincoln like I think it should, is the ending.
Yeah, then.
Well, before we get to that, let's talk about the vote.
Oh, the vote. Oh,
The vote.
Oh, how they vote? Oh, how they voted, or just from the other thing?
Well, I mean,
we could talk about both.
well, sort of getting into that, but
All right.
so first I have to ask. I found it odd when all the African Americans, they come in and the speakers and everybody, they start actually applauding them and they like respectfully welcome them in. I'm like, wow, you're treating them as equals. Did the thing already pass?
That's what threw me off.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that. It's like, wait,
I
they
guess-
passed the bill already? What?
I'm guessing that was Republicans' way of sort of guilting certain people into voting for them, or at least to make the Democrats uncomfortable enough, not so they wouldn't like throw around any like racial stuff.
Yes.
Because I mean, yeah, true, it was racism was very big in that day, but it still wasn't in good taste to like publicly announce it. But
But as they were voting, some of the city, I love it how like some of the Democrats went, one guy's like, like the hell with it, I'm gonna say yay, and all the Democrats.
And then he all of a sudden changes his vote.
Oh, then nay, no, abstain.
And then the one guy, he like, I'm sorry, we can't hear you in the back.
he's like, I'm voting yes, and I don't care if I get shot.
And then just, before we're finished, we're like so close to finding out, how they voted. Sorry, I had to check with the projector.
That's pretty much what happened. What happened was the projector all of a sudden crapped out. Actually, we lost
the picture.
and then the sound crapped out. We're just like, we're sitting in the dark, and I'm yelling, I need to know what happens.
Yes, do they have the amendment?
Are the slaves free?
Is the war over?
Will we ever find out?
Does Lincoln have a happy ending?
Like everybody in the theater was making comments.
We're all laughing.
I love it. But some of the people are like, turn the projector back on. Yeah, turn it back on. One guy's like, I abstain.
But this was like the most exciting part of the movie, the one we were most engaged in.
It was like the climax. It was the climax of the movie. And all of a sudden it just craps out on us. But they actually got it up pretty quickly, though.
They did.
It was like 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden we were back to the film.
we get like a lot of people saying nay, with a few people saying yay. So you're like, and you're watching them constantly, checking off how many votes they need to win.
I love
as they were checking it off, like at the very end, it was like 57 nay and like 100 and something yay.
Like we didn't hear that many people. What?
I guess it would take a long ass time if they
Time
were doing it all.
Time constraint. It's
I
movie
suppose.
magic.
I just love it when certain Democrats would say yay, so all of them like turn around and get over like traitor.
Objection.
So yeah, finally they're all finished with the voting. But wait, one more person wants to say something. The head speaker.
Yes, the Speaker of the House.
He's like, can I cast a vote? It's like, yeah, sure.
Like the Speaker doesn't really vote unless it's like.
Well, this is history, damn it.
I know. Yeah, really.
Does the Speaker really wish to vote? Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
Speaker of the House can vote. Last I checked, it's like break any ties or anything like that. But
I gotta say though, it was kind of unnecessary for him to vote, considering they already had so many votes. I mean, they only needed
They had it
60.
over-
They got over 100.
I know, really.
Well, yeah, unnecessary, but hey, you want it to be in the history books.
True.
It's kind of like, I know, we keep going back to this. It's like 1776, John Hancock was saying, it was a scene where where Adams is about to telling everyone, get to talk to the other people, and it's Adams and Hancock standing there, and Hancock's like, I'm from Massachusetts, I'll do anything you say, and Adams is like, no, because Hancock wanted to be involved, and that's what that kind of reminded me of. The Speaker of the House, that scene in Lincoln, is like, he wants to have his voice heard, because he's just been sitting there the whole movie, so he might as well do something. So.
True. I was still waiting for, the representatives from New York to stand up and say, the state of New York abstains courteously. But yeah, so obviously the bill is passed, everyone celebrates, except for the mean old Democrats who are like,
but Thaddeus, he has a very nice scene.
Yes. Yeah, very nice scene at the end where he takes the copy of the bill.
Yeah, he actually takes the bill out of Congress and they let
I'll give it back to you tomorrow, Crease.
So he comes home and he gives it to his housekeeper, who he has a relationship with.
She's his lover. So.
Yes, and tells him that has her read the bill.
Like, here, present for you, sweetie. I just helped free your entire race. So you shouldn't be pissed off if I skip on a few birthday presents here on out.
But it's really sweet, though.
Yes.
I think it was.
Yeah, and then that leads up to the ending.
End.
They cut to 2 months later, when the war is finally ended, and they show all the dead bodies and everything.
And Lincoln is 10 years older.
Yeah.
His hair is
war does that to people.
Well, for presidency does that to people,
in
any case.
Yeah, for presidents in general. But he has a lot more gray.
But yeah, things are now looking up. Everyone's happy and stuff. And then of course, he says the line, "Well, I guess it's time for me to go."
But I don't really want to leave.
and you get the hint that he's going over to the theater, which means it's assassination time. Now, the movie could have ended perfectly if they just ended on him walking down the hallway into the light, and then maybe cutting to his speech at the end. That would end it perfectly. But no, they have to cut to the theater, but it's not Ford's theater. It's
different theater entirely. His son is at.
I know. I thought they were going to do that too. It's going to be at at Ford's theater, and I see the play, and I'm just like, wait a minute, this isn't Our American Cousin, because that was the play that he was attending, and I was a little confused at first.
And his son was there too, so.
Yeah, I think that's what threw everybody off, and then all of a sudden, the curtain closes, and then the guy runs out and goes, "The president has been shot!" And everyone's all in a panic, they're like, "The president has been shot!" And then you see his son, grabbing on the banister, crying, screaming and crying his eyes out. And and then all of a sudden it cuts to
what was the house across the street from Ford's theater where they
probably. They don't really say, but
yeah, but it's assumed because they did take him to a house right across.
And everybody
the
was there, and the doctor's there, and he's like, there to presume him dead,
and they show him. They do a close up of him with blood on the pillow and everything, and then they pronounce him dead. They fade over to a candle, and it starts with him doing a speech.
Doing his speech, the speech he did after the bill was passed. So, and
yeah, I did not like that at all. I mean, you could have ended it perfectly with him just walking off into the lidded corridor.
You still could have had the speech, but you didn't have to do the assassination.
You could reference it. Either show images of people reading headlines or being sad or something.
Or they just have a text at the end.
Yeah, have a text, saying what happens, even though everyone knows what happens. But for them to actually, cut to some place that, sort of fool us into thinking they're going to show the assassination, then they don't, but then they show his, dead body anyway, that was unnecessary. It's let's put a sad ending for the sake of having a sad ending.
If the one thing I will say is for that sort of the scene where they show him in the candle right after he's died. I thought that was actually rather nice symbolism in terms
I'll
of
give you that. I agree.
In terms of, despite the fact that he's dead, his legacy continues. Like everything he stood for continues to live on, and the work to get the South reintegrated with the North, it still continues.
Candle burned out long ago, your legend never will. That kind of thing.
Exactly.
Literally speaking.
And it
but-
seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind.
Yes.
Oh, interesting bit of trivia. Did you know that the bullet did not actually kill Lincoln? It didn't. Like, he got shot and the bullet ended up being lodged behind his eye, but it wasn't the bullet that killed him, it was him bleeding out that killed him. Because had he been shot in, like, modern times right now, with the surgery, they could have easily saved him. I mean,
yes.
He might have had some brain damage, but he'd still be alive. So, that just proves how badass Lincoln was. Not even a bullet could freaking kill him.
Well,
I mean, most people, you get shot in the head, you die instantly. Him, like, he didn't die for
Just
the
the way
next that morning.
just the way the shot went through.
But, yeah, that
they
just proves
just
how
couldn't stop him
badass
from
Lincoln
bleeding
was.
out.
He also kills vampires. That's another movie that came out earlier this year.
Oh, another book.
I know we got 2 Lincoln movies this year. One about him fighting vampires, and one about him fighting, freeing slavery. Now, if we can only find a way to put 2 together.
There's also another movie out on Netflix, like Abraham Lincoln's Zombie Story.
That's a knockoff. I've seen it. I've heard it. It's like Abe Lincoln versus zombies.
Well, I mean, I know for as much everyone panned Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, at least they show him being badass. They show, why he is the president that everybody loves and why he's considered the greatest president of all time. With this, I mean, you see him pretty much, lying and pussyfooting around issues and stuff in order to get what he wants accomplished. You don't really, see the man who stopped 2 nations who stopped the United States from splitting apart. I don't know, I just felt it was, really weak in terms of, serving his character's purpose. I just think they could have built it up a lot more. I mean, I don't know if, that stuff, with with him lying about the delegates, coming to Washington to, talk about peace and stuff was, him lying to Congress about it was true or not, but I don't know, I just felt they could have done a lot better.
Yeah. Not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie per se.
But it's lacking something.
Yeah, it is not a bad movie. It obviously has talent behind it. A lot of people put, a lot of, their heart and soul into it. Makeup's great, costumes are great, settings are great, and the dialogue, while it is weird at times, especially for the extras, is tolerable. Nothing great, but it's still enjoyable to listen to sometimes. But for the most part, I think the movie, it's good, but it's overrated.
But we'll get some Oscar nods, though, no doubt.
Of course. Steven Spielberg, come on.
Yeah, really. So, I guess that wraps up for
November.
November.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, we got one more in November. We got Rise of the Guardians.
We can safely call it a sort of Christmas film, don't you think?
Yeah. Okay. It'll probably be December by the time we see this.
Yeah.
Seeing as how it's November, election happened earlier, it's kind of appropriate.
Hurricane, Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Everything's just been delayed, I guess.
Yeah, but we'll
As long as we get it out before,
get it out before next year.
no, as long as we get it done before The Hobbit comes out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big one that we all got to see. We all got to do.
Yep. So yeah, next up, Rise of the Guardians, and after that, The Hobbit.
Part 1 of 3.
Really?
Yes, it's 3.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I thought it was 2, but it's 3.
Note to self: do not drink soda before watching. I guess that wraps it up, everyone. I am Cat T Critic.
I'm Y2 Staller.
And I'm one Satmorn.
And this vlog was brought to you again by our sponsor, White Castle.
With ketchup.
Cravation. That's what you crave.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.